Another gang accused of terrorising Australian families. Tonight, Martin King takes us inside the Apex gang and visits their turf. Marty?
Thanks, Tracy. I honestly thought I would never see the day, but that day has come. Violent home invasions, the new norm. Violent, terrifying carjackings, the new norm. Our police are seriously under the pump, with one particular gang in their sights.
They're just a bunch of hooligans going around trying to terrorise the city, terrorise the people.
They're doing violent home invasions, carjackings and other kinds of crime which just scare people half to death.
We're paying the price. So the question is, how do we deal with it? We're paying the price.
And the price for a growing number of innocent people is shockingly high. We've never seen anything like this before. On this scale, the brazenness, the brutality, the cruelty. And this is where it all began, the birthplace of the Apex gang, Apex Street in Dandenong, east of Melbourne. Talk to the residents here and they'll tell you this street is quiet and friendly, the absolute antithesis of the thugs who took its name.
A bit worrying for my family, that's for sure. We're a bit paranoid right now.
They don't seem to have any concern for the level of violence they dish out on their victims.
Victoria Police Assistant Commissioner for Crime, Steve Fontana. He's an experienced cop and he's seen it all. But these crimes are a whole new challenge.
I won't say it's easy for us, but we are getting much better at what we're doing. And that coordinated response, bringing the investigative grunt across this organisation together, is paying dividends.
Do you have enough grunt?
Yes, we do.
These were the scenes that shocked Australia. The heart of Melbourne under siege when rival gangs, one of them Apex, went to war. What were their first crimes?
Look, a lot of the crimes have been around burglaries and aggravated burglaries,
which then morphed into home invasions and carjackings. It's the last thing you expect. You're driving home in the middle of the night and suddenly a car hits you from behind. You do the right thing, you pull over, you get out to investigate and exchange names and addresses. Instead, you walk straight into a trap.
The first thought in my head is, I don't want to die here.
What began as a routine drive home in his luxury Mercedes at 2 a.m. quickly turned into terror for Michael Talal.
I was changing lanes from the right lane to the left lane to pull over, send a text message. As I was doing that, somebody bumped my car from behind. I got out of the car to inspect the damage and I got to the back, looked down at my bumper, kneeled down a little bit, and then I felt a blow to the back of my head.
It was a classic gang carjacking, vicious even when the victims complied.
I gave them everything they wanted. I did not argue back, I did not fight back, I did not say a single word back to them.
Michael was surrounded by 6 men armed with a baseball bat.
It basically hit me in the face, smashed my glasses onto my face, broke the lens on my face and everything. 3 of them grabbed me and dragged me to the sidewalk, and the others continued basically hitting me with the bat.
Favoured gang weapons are the bats, hammers, crowbars, even guns. And Apex, say police, isn't the only gang terrorising the innocent.
They asked for my phone and they asked me to unlock it and to give them the passcode. Once I did that, they then actually asked me to go into the settings and delete all iCloud and erase everything off the phone.
Very frightening.
As soon as you hear a noise outside at night now, you sort of worry what's happening out there, so you're peeking out the windows.
Throughout the entire time, they were actually hitting me with the baseball bat, so I received quite a few blows around my body and stuff.
The gang stole Michael's car and phone and were later filmed casually refuelling the Mercedes at a petrol station. Later, his car was used in a home invasion. It's a sickening new trend with the carjackings, home invasions and other crimes leaving victims traumatised.
They grabbed him in a headlock and punched him in the face.
It's the worst thing I've ever been through.
As I turned, they hit me on the right-hand side of the head twice. They said, if you don't give me the keys, I'll kill you and the dog.
In the year to March, there were 171 carjackings in Victoria, more than 2 a week, an 80% increase on the year before. Home invasions have surged too.
They're young. They've been described on many occasions as South Sudanese, Pacific Islander, but they actually cover all races. Some of the senior members have actually been Afghani, Pacific Islander and other European areas.
Herald Sun crime reporter Anthony Dowsley has investigated the Apex gang and other gangs for almost a year. You don't have to be driving your car, he says, to be a target.
If they see a luxury car in the driveway, they'll want it. So they go in, get the keys, they can smash in doors or they can climb through a window. They wake the owners up, they make demands, sometimes they belittle them, and then they get what they want and go. Apex gangs are a really loosely affiliated group of young people who are challenging each other to go on nights of crime together and commit carjackings, home invasions and other kinds of crime.
Now they challenge each other. What's all that about?
Well, the challenges can come through social networking, so they can get on formats like Wicker or Snapchat and dare each other to do crimes.
Burhan, you saw this coming.
Yes, I did.
How did you see this coming?
You can hear the voices that everyone is crying loud. The family are saying, we're losing our kids, we can't get control of our kids.
Dr Burhan Ahmed from Melbourne University is one of the nation's most respected African community leaders.
And I said to the minister, and I put an application saying, we need to deal with this now before it gets too big, before it gets out of hand, before it gets out of control.
But it has got out of control.
Well, exactly because the system is bureaucratic. They believe in paperwork. They don't believe the problems on the street as problems unless they get them in writing.
These gang members, you've met them. What are they like?
Well, look, to be honest with you, these are boys speaking loud because they lost hope. They lost direction in the process.
They've lost hope.
They lost hope because they've been out and about, and the system doesn't listen to them. They were looking to study, they're looking to work, they're looking to, but they don't know where to start.
I've just spoken to an African community leader, and he's concerned that the state government's not doing enough and the police aren't doing enough, i.e. grassroots, getting out there, getting amongst the families and the young people and talking to them. What do you think about that?
Well, look, I've had this...
Can we do more?
I think absolutely. I think that's what we need to do. So the Police Commissioner has organised a youth summit to start that conversation.
Lisa Neville is the Victorian Police Minister. The problem is so serious, she says, a special statute is being considered.
We're looking at carjacking offence at the moment as a cabinet, what we might be able to do with the police to make it a specific offence.
To change the law.
That's right, to change the law as well.
I have spoken to some of them, they regret what happened, what they
do regret.
They do regret.
Because it seems to me they don't regret.
No, there may be some individuals with them, but I spoke to a few of these, and I see their regret in their face.
Some of them are enjoying it. They get the thrill out of it, of being like a gangster. They enjoy the thrill of breaking into addresses, stealing property and confronting people. They don't care about their victims, and that's what's really of concern to us.
Well, my fear is that someone's going to get killed, and not just one person.
To be honest, that's my nightmare, to say the least.
When people arm themselves and use weapons in offences, whether it be firearms, baseball bats or other types of weapons, and they use them, assault people with them, there's always a risk of serious injury, worst case scenario, death. It's always there.
We don't live in a country where these things happen. We don't live in a city where these things happen. Melbourne, one of the most livable cities in the world, or the most livable city in the world.
While the gangs target the richest suburbs, we went back to Apex Street, Dandenong, where it all began.
Yeah, we're happy.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Right happy. We wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
There's no violence, seen nothing, people are really nice, everyone down the street's really nice. So there's nothing to make us think that we want to get out of this area.
This is not Johannesburg, it's Melbourne.
Look, it's been increasing over a period of time, particularly in the last 12 months. So we've had carjackings over the years, but the jump over the last 12 months is of particular concern.
But nothing like this.
No, nothing like this, but we will get on top of it.
Since May, a special task force has made 54 arrests and 45 people have been charged.